Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And tonight, I want to talk about something that I talk about a lot in my comment section. And usually it happens when somebody comments on one of my videos and shares a bit about their experience. I usually say something along the lines of, "Thank you for sharing your experience. It's very important." I'm going to talk about why that's important. So I'm a very firm believer in the idea that we should. Very that we should always be willing to talk about our problems out loud, openly. At the very least, with people who care about us and that we care about, no matter what those problems are. I know that it can be embarrassing, it can be painful to rehash things sometimes, but I also know that we as people are so extremely good at bottling and fucking pushing this shit that bugs us down so far and letting it eat away at us without us even knowing that it's happening. I mean, I'm fucking so guilty of this shit. This is how I've lived my whole fucking life. Through getting clean, going to treatment, going to meetings, meeting new people, learning that, no, holy shit, I'm not the only motherfucker out there who feels this way, who deals with these things, who fucking has these problems. There's a whole fucking litany of other people out there who fucking have those issues, right? I'm an addict. It's nicotine. What I've gotten out of sharing my traumas, experiences, problems, hopes, dreams, fucking nightmares with, anybody who will listen. And, it wasn't always like that. It started out with people that cared about me and people that I trusted. There's a feeling that you get when you first start doing it that like you can almost physically feel, and it is that cliche feeling of a weight being lifted off of your shoulders. You feel lighter, you feel like you're not holding on to as much, and it's because you're not. So when we have things that traumatize us, right, I'm a firm believer that traumatic experiences happen to us, whether they happen to us or we cause them to ourselves. They happen to us, and we stay traumatized by our own doing. We continue to traumatize ourselves by continuing to live in that experience and by holding on to that experience and by pushing that experience deep down inside and not letting it out, right? And if you hear what I just said, that was a little wordplay, but when you bury something so deep down and not let it out, you hold on to it and you give yourself to that trauma and you breathe life into that trauma. You give that trauma your energy. When you let it out and you share it with other people, you are taking the power away from it. You are saying, you know what? This isn't something that I am so ashamed of or so freaking embarrassed of that I can't let anybody else know about it. I need to hold on. It's only me. It's me and only me. I'm the only one who can fucking deal with it. When we choose to not do that and we say, hey, this is what the fuck I've been dealing with, man. Like, you ever dealt with some shit like this before? You have now taken that issue, right? You say this paper is the issue, and you split it in half, and you've given some of it to somebody else. You've given, this was one issue. It still is, this right here, one issue. You rip it in half, it's still one issue, but now you're holding this weight, someone else is holding that weight, and now you have a lifeline that you are tied to which you can fucking talk to and breathe to, vent to, right? And then, you've got this half, and then you tell somebody else you trust. Here, thank you. Now you're holding on to this. You give the situation away to a bunch of different people, and now you're being held accountable, right? In a different way, right? In a way that, like, all these people you've given this pieces of this experience to are now all aware that you are going through or have been through this. Now, these are people that either A, may just decide to fucking call you every once in a while just to say, hey man, how you doing? You okay? And sometimes that we need that little fucking push to let these things that are bugging us out, right? And so that's another fucking avenue to which you can relieve some yourself to, right? When these people call to check on you, or they know that you're going through this, so they know, hey, I might get a call, and Jay might need to fucking talk to me about something because I know he's dealing with things, right? And then you peel it off and you give it to enough people, and one person says, oh, you have this too? Oh shit, fuck dude, check it out. I've been through almost the same fucking exact thing, dude. Here, take this, give me that, and then you take this, because what this is this is the answer key. This is how I fucking dealt with it. And that is another fucking reason it is so important to let these things out, because you never know when somebody you're sharing this experience with is somebody who has been through exactly what the fuck you're dealing with and is already on the other side of it and has the answers that you never knew you fucking needed or were looking for. And all of a sudden you've got them now because you decided to open up and share your experience. Sorry about that shit. And then there's another side of that too, right? Because there's times where you go, hey man, like fuck, this is what I've been through, this is what I've been going through, this is what's gone on. And you're going to, rip it apart, hand it out, and all of a sudden somebody goes, holy shit, man, yeah, I can totally relate because this is what I've got. And you're speaking to somebody who is just now beginning to go through an experience like the one you've been going through and hasn't even made it as far as you have. But hearing how far you've been able to get through this situation is something that gives this person hope, because they go, holy shit, somebody else has just gone through this and look at how much better they're doing since then. Or, even if you're not doing better, even if it's somewhat of a warning, hey man, maybe don't do this shit because that's what I did and it fucking, my this turned into this again. And you might help somebody fucking avoid some serious heartache. And I know there's a lot of fucking people out there who really are like, I don't give a fuck about that. Who cares if I'm fucking helping him get rid of his heartache? I'm fucking worried about my shit. It's all about me. This is my fucking world. Maybe that's a reason to look in the mirror and wonder, or to ask yourself, am I the reason that I'm so fucking miserable? It's important to let out what these things are. And one way you can start by doing this, if you're not, such an extroverted person or outward spoken or, comfortable with sharing things with anybody, get a pen and a paper, man. Fucking a journal is also a fantastic outlet to start with, right? And the great thing about a journal is you take those thoughts that are in your head and you physically let them out through actively writing them, transcribing them, and making them tangible onto a piece of paper, right? Because once you've done that, you can't fool yourself into thinking that it's no longer there since you've buried it so far down. You still have that. You still have the evidence, the receipts of what you've gone through. And there's going to come a time where maybe you're going to want to share that shit. And if you've taken and written everything out in a journal, you've already essentially packaged it up, taken this, packaged it up, and got it ready to deliver to somebody else, right? Because now you don't even have to struggle to fucking try and think about everything you've gone through and been through that you want to share now. It's all been documented. And you have, a tabbed fucking version of your life events that you're now able to share with somebody else. Because who knows, maybe this person that you're going to share this shit from 5 years ago with has the fucking information you needed 5 years ago that you never knew was still back in your mind. And now you go, oh shit, now all of this fucking makes sense. You never know when that fucking serendipitous fucking cathartic moment, I don't know if I use those words right, I don't really give a fuck, of that aha moment. You never know when that's gonna come. You never know who's gonna fucking be the one to give it to you. You never know where you're gonna find that shit. But what I do know is that your chances of finding it and your chances of being able to fucking reduce the size of this, your chances of being able to fucking lose some of that weight that has been holding you down are so greatly exponentially increased when you're willing to take this, break it into pieces, and pass it out to the people that you love and even people beyond that. And then on the other side of that, like I kind of touched on earlier, you never know who the hell you're going to help. You never know who the hell needs to hear what you need to get out more than you need to get it out. There might be somebody out there whose life is saved by the fucking experience you're going through right now, simply because you are further along in it and you have information that they could use to help them get through their part of it. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. All of those are, plenty of reasons, and there's probably so much more that I've left out and forgot about as to why it's so important to share what you're going through and talk about things that are bothering you and to simply let them out, because the benefits so incredibly greatly outweigh the negative side effects or the slight discomfort you'll feel by vocalizing those things to somebody else in the very beginning. The worst that it will ever get, unless you have some piece of shit you're telling this to and they're like, oh, you're a fucking idiot, unless you were an idiot and it is your fault. Some things we fucking need to hear. There are so many more reasons why sharing it is a benefit over holding it in. But yeah, I hope that this encourages somebody to let it out. Look at that thing that you're holding on to, that pain, that hardship, that memory, that fucking thing that eats you alive. Even if you don't feel it, don't know it right away, that thing that when it's, 11:30 at night and you fucking can't fall asleep because for some reason that thing from 10 years ago is playing in your head that you've never told anybody about, maybe fucking tell somebody about it. Because maybe tomorrow when you're trying to sleep, you might get to sleep at 11 because it doesn't play in your head as long. Because you feel a little bit less weighed down by it because you released it. Anyways, love you guys. Hope y'all having a wonderful evening. If I don't see you tomorrow or the next day, I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you Sunday then. But we'll see. Who knows? Got a busy fucking weekend ahead of me. But hope y'all having a great one. Continue to have a good one. Bye now.